Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Here I am coming back at you with another video so soon after my last one. I am smashing it. In all seriousness, I do just want to say a really big thank you to everyone who was so kind on my last video where I talked about where I've been and why I haven't been uploading recently. You were all so understanding and so kind, and I appreciate you. So over the past few months I have acquired quite a few new classics to add to my collection, and I thought it would be nice to just sit down with you today and talk to you about them all. I actually did a classics book haul last year that so many people seem to enjoy. It's got like the most views I've ever had on a video, I think, so I'm not really sure why that was, but I hope you all enjoy this one just as much. So a lot of these books came from World of Books. If you haven't been on World of Books, it is a second-hand online bookshop and you should definitely go and have a look. Do yourself a favour. A couple of the books came from London bookshops that Cameron and I picked up when we decided to go on a little London bookshop crawl when we were in London last, and a couple of the books came from other people, both as gifts and just as books they were passing on. So let's get straight into it. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. I received this as a Christmas present, so a little while ago now, from my boyfriend Cameron, and I was very happy about it. He actually included a really cute note in the front, so I love this book. If you don't know, Les Miserables is set in France in the 1800s and it follows many different characters over many different years. It is a commentary on the French political system and the judicial system, is that how you say that word? And it's epic. I have never read anything by Victor Hugo before, but I absolutely love the story of Les Miserables. I love the songs, I love the film, I love the stage show. Cameron and I went and saw Les Miserables on stage for my 23rd birthday, which was the first time we'd ever seen it, and we had the best time. That was like a week before Christmas, so receiving this for Christmas was so lovely. I definitely want to read this book at some point in my life. I'm not in any mad rush to get to it at the moment, but I definitely will at some point, and this book is just very special to me anyway. If any of you have read Les Miserables, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Share your experiences with me, share your tips, because it is a big one. Another one of my recent purchases was Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. This came from World of Books and I am so happy to now own it. I'm currently reading my first ever Anne Bronte, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, and I am absolutely loving it. It's so awesome, it's so kick-ass, it's so lovely. I'll talk about it more in my next recent reads video. But apparently I am in love with Anne Bronte now, so of course I had to pick up more of her work, and Agnes Grey was where to go next. So I believe this one is about a young girl who becomes a governess. When Agnes becomes a governess, I think she is very gentle and optimistic, but during her time in this position she is treated terribly, with contempt and derision because she is poor. I'm really excited to read this one at some point, and I believe it actually draws on Anne Bronte's own experiences as a governess, so that's really interesting. The next one that I picked up recently was Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. I don't really know anything about this one, to be honest. All I know is that everyone loves Anthony Trollope. I didn't own any Anthony Trollope and I knew that had to change. I believe this story follows a man who wants to marry a woman despite her illegitimacy and poverty. But from reading the blurb, I think she's actually wealthy. She just doesn't want to tell him because she wants to be accepted for herself, not her money. Since buying this one, I've actually found out that this is the third in a series from Trollope, so I fucked up there. But I'm still happy to have it. I'm sure I'll get round to it at some point in my life. And so many people who have very similar reading tastes to me when it comes to classics love Anthony Trollope, so I'm sure I will as well. The next book is Love in a Cold Climate and Other Novels by Nancy Mitford, and I got this one passed on to me by my friend Jess, who I work with, but she also has a booktube channel called Read by Jess, so if you haven't checked out her channel before, I will link it down below. Please go and check her out. She is lovely. I was really happy to take this one off her hands when she offered it to me, because I'm always looking to read more modern classics, especially modern classics that I haven't heard as much about before, so I thought this could be quite a cool discovery for me. This is a collection of 3 short novels by Nancy Mitford, called The Pursuit of Love, Love in a Cold Climate and The Blessing, and I believe they explore the upper classes in pre-war London and Paris. Jess herself actually didn't love this. I believe she found it quite difficult to get through, but I'm interested to read it myself and see where I fall. The next book that I picked up is by one of my favourite ever authors, and that is E.M. Forster's Where Angels Fear to Tread. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, then you'll probably know that I love E.M. Forster. I love his novel A Room with a View, and Howard's End is one of my favourite novels of all time. I want to read all of his novels in my lifetime. It's just a matter of when I decide to pick them up, and so I thought it was about time that I added another to my collection so I can get to it whenever the mood strikes. This is one of his more famous novels, I believe, and I think it follows a young widow who goes travelling around Italy and ends up marrying a poor Italian, much to the dismay of her family, and I believe the novel focuses on her marriage and her children. I think. I have such high hopes for this, whatever it's about. E.M. Forster is such a talent at writing really brilliant characters and really gorgeous storylines and dissecting social structures, and I just think this is going to be a joy for me to read. The next book is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy by John le Carré. This is another modern classic that has recently been added to my collection. It was actually Cameron who picked this one up, but I'm kind of interested to read it at some point as well. I've heard this novel described as a chess match between the protagonist and his Soviet counterpart. I believe it's about spies and Moscow and British intelligence, that kind of thing. This doesn't actually sound like my kind of book at all, to be honest, but I have heard brilliant things about it and I do want to try some of John le Carré's work at some point. And I've also heard that this one is more psychologically suspensey rather than action-filled, so that pleases me greatly. So yes, neither Cameron nor I have read any John le Carré before, and we both want to, and this is what we got. The next book that I picked up recently was Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. So I know that I will love Elizabeth Gaskell as an author. Her novels are the exact type of Victorian novels that I usually gravitate towards. Females writing about females and relationship dramas and social commentary. It sounds perfect. But alas, I still haven't read anything by her. As I said in a recent 5-star prediction video, this year will be the year that I read Elizabeth Gaskell. I will discover her work and I'm sure it will be amazing. I already have one Elizabeth Gaskell in my collection, North and South, but I've heard amazing things about this one as well and I wanted to own them both. Cranford is set in a small English town and it follows 2 spinster sisters, and I believe in the novel some kind of tragedy occurs and undercuts their predictable rural life. I've also heard that this novel explores female friendships as a really prominent theme in the novel, so that makes me very, very happy. Very high hopes for this one. The penultimate book in this haul is Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh. This is another modern classic and it's one that I've been wanting to read for a very long time, purely based off of people's recommendations, not because I know anything about it at all. All I know about this one is that it follows a man in the years before the Second World War. That's it. I've just heard nothing but good things about this one, and my housemate Alex actually loves it as well, and he's told me to read it in the past, so here we are. And the final classic that I picked up recently is another modern classic, and that is Perfume by Patrick Susskind. This is about a man in 18th century France who has an incredible sense of smell. So his sense of smell is his passion, and he becomes obsessed with capturing certain smells, including the smell of a beautiful young virgin. This sounds weird as fuck, but it has always intrigued me. It's been on my radar for the past year or so, and so many people have said they enjoyed it, including Beth from Beth Chats Books, who I absolutely love. I believe this book is meant to be very dark and sensual, and it's meant to give a really engrossing and submersive reading experience. This all just sounds fascinating to me, and I think if it's done well, then it could be a really brilliant book. So there we go. Those are all the classics that I've picked up over the past few months. Please let me know if you've read any of them. I would love love to know how you found them. And also please let me know what classics you've read recently that you love and recommend, or what classics you're really looking forward to getting to soon. Let's just chat down below as always, whether it's about books or life, whatever it is. I always love reading your comments and replying to you. It's the best. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you're all well, and I will hopefully see you soon with another video. Bye everyone.